Good morning, I'm Alex King.
And I'm Nathan Edwards. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. Head out to the Oregon District this Saturday for their annual holiday market. 40 pop-up shops will be open from noon to 5 p.m. This is a great opportunity not only to shop local, but also find maybe something unique that nobody else is going to be able to get.
I love that. Something a little bit more personalized, I think.
My wife and I always love shopping at Hart Mercantile for all like the Dayton centric or like the funny, weird gifts, So
a lot of gag gifts.
Oh yeah, we love that.
Love that. And a whimsical holiday spectacular is coming to the Victoria Theater this weekend. Cirque Dreams Holidays is a high-flying act that is for the whole family.
Kids would love that. I mean, and it's pretty magical, the Victoria Theater, especially the holiday season.
Yeah.
To see the high-flying acts. Yeah. I think it's kind of like Cirque du Soleil, but not quite, but it's still
a little watered down version.
Circuit, yeah.
But still a cool thing to see.
Well, yeah.
That's fun.
And winter ice creams are back at Young's Jersey Dairy. Head out now. Here's the flavors, Alex. You ready for this?
Yep.
Peppermint stick. Hot cocoa peppermint, which I think is the play.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Pistachio flavored. I don't know if
I've
never
had.
had.
I feel about pistachio flavored.
Well, pistachio gelato is very popular in Italy, so why can't pistachio
honestly,
ice cream?
ice cream is ice cream to me. I'll eat it all.
Yeah, the peppermint, hot cocoa. I had peppermint ice cream last night at my house. It got me in the spirit. I'm ready to go.
So
Let's go.
I need all the sweets. Today, one local organization will be spreading Christmas cheer to children in need.
It's been happening for 3 decades now, and each year they'll be able to help a little more. Melina Brown joins us live in Dayton this morning with more. Melina.
Every year, Flock, also known as For the Love of Children, delivers Christmas gifts for nearly 1,000 children who work with Montgomery County Children's Services, but it doesn't stop here. This year, they expect to help more than 2,400 children, which includes donations to low-income schools, local churches, and registered families in the Dayton area. The donations range from toys to clothing items like coats and other necessities this time of year. Montgomery County Children's Services say they start preparing with Flock in September to make sure everything is ready to go in December so children and families are taken care of.
It means the world because there's basically, a lot of kids that are going to go, without, just throughout the entire year, but also definitely around the time of Christmas.
Asana Taylor with Montgomery County Children's Services says even for the caseworkers and other employees, it's the most wonderful time of year being able to see the families they cover have gifts for Christmas. And if you're wondering, there is still time to donate. I'm going to show you how to do that coming up in just a bit. Back to you.
Here's what we're looking at for this morning. It's temperatures all the way down in the mid-20s. Kind of interesting because just about perfect conditions, but we do have some clouds now going to move into the area. So effectively, I do think that we may be at the coldest at this second. I'm not going to say that it's going to get warmer, but it's going to get less cool, which means maybe, just maybe, wait off on walking the dog if you can for another couple of hours. We're still going to be in the mid-20s, but optimistically, we'll get a couple of clouds, and that may bump us up a degree or two. Anything helps at the margins. Meanwhile, by 9 a.m., upper 20s, 11 a.m. should be in the 30s, and we're pointing out that we will see those clouds decrease during the morning. I don't really see today being necessarily completely cloudy early on, but it is likely for us to see at least some cloud cover during the morning part of the day. Unfortunately, our cameras are down, so we're going to go over to the weather maps and, traffic maps. The 2 issues you see kind of back to back, that is the construction onto the 35 ramps from north and southbound 75, and you do have that one issue right now at North Kiowee Street at Earl Ave.
Governor Mike DeWine's calls for changes to the state's marijuana laws are on pause. The House won't be able to vote on it before members leave for the holidays. House members asked for patience so they can handle the bill thoroughly. Now here's a breakdown of the bill. That bill would cap THC amounts at 90% for extracts and 35% for the plant. It would also impose a 10% sales tax on all marijuana sales. The bill would also set up a separate process to allow those with previous marijuana possession convictions to have that criminal record expunged.
Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus back to normal operations after a lockdown yesterday. Our sister station in the state's capital says police responded to 2 calls about a suspicious man on the property. The hospital sent out a code silver alert to employees, warning about a 65-year-old man carrying a rifle. The building locked down for about 40 minutes. Columbus police did not find a suspect. The department is investigating.
A new Sheetz is making its way into Beaver Creek after City Council approved rezoning.
Jenna Lee Borick shares where it's going.
This would be the second Sheetz location in Beaver Creek. Right now, a wooded area stands there, and it would be near the intersection of Eastside Drive and Colonel Glenn Highway. Plans are moving forward for a second Sheetz location in Beaver Creek. One is already being built on Fairfield Road, not far from Dayton Xenia Road. I spoke to Beaver Creek Mayor Bob Stone, who thinks it will be a good addition, especially for one group of people.
So it benefits, in my opinion, it benefits Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And whatever benefits Wright-Patterson Air Force Base typically benefits Beaver Creek and the surrounding communities.
Stone says this Sheetz location will be convenient for people who work on the base to quickly grab something on breaks. It's already been decided an additional traffic light will be needed after the city looked at the traffic study Sheetz did. So an increase in traffic is expected. Lights are only installed when the traffic volume warrants it. Stone says the next step in the plan would be Sheetz needs to go back to the Planning Commission with a site plan that'll detail more of the construction, and there will be a public hearing when it's time for that part to be presented. Back to you.
Kettering City school leaders voting to approve the suspension of teacher Matthew Kohler. Kohler faces child pornography charges. He's accused of inappropriately touching a former student. That decision means Kohler is officially on unpaid leave. Kohler's now on house arrest. He's ordered not to have unsupervised contact with children.
Kettering police warning about a rise in car break-ins at the Van Buren apartments. They released this map showing reports of 3 thefts, 2 stolen vehicles, and 2 attempted thefts. Police say these usually happen between midnight and 6 a.m., so keep an eye out. And they are increasing patrols in the area. If you see or hear anything suspicious, you can call police dispatch. That number is on your screen now.
Tonight is Heroes Night at Clifton Mill. All first responders will get $5 off admission. A portion of the proceeds go to Michael's House. That's an advocacy center for kids and families affected by abuse in Greene County. This runs from 5 to 9.
Holiday trivia is your chance to get some extra money under the tree. Use your phone's camera to scan the QR code on your screen right now to enter. Get the question right and you could win the daily prize of a $100 Visa gift card, or you could be entered to win the $5,000 weekly prize. Congratulations to yesterday's winner, Tim Grill. Be sure to watch Your Day every morning this week for more chances. For complete contest rules, go to Dayton247now.com. Holiday trivia is sponsored by Thrush & Son.
Our time right now, 5:08. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Organized retail crime is a major problem. I'm Janae Bones on Capitol Hill with a look at what's being done to stop it.
Multiple stores pulling water beads, a popular child toy, from their shelves. The reason, just ahead.
You're watching Your Day. 3 popular retailers are pulling a product marketed to children. Amazon, Target, and Walmart have voluntarily stopped selling water beads. This after lawmakers and public health officials called for a ban on the toys. Water beads are tiny balls made out of extremely absorbent polymer material. They're said to help kids with fine motor skills in counting, but when exposed to liquid, they can expand to 100 times their initial size and weight. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, for that reason, experts say the beads are a big health risk for children if ingested.
The Arctic region failing its annual health checkup this year. The summer in the Arctic was the warmest on record. Now that's according to a report published yesterday by NOAA. Scientists examined the Arctic's vital signs between October 2022 and September this year. They looked at changes in sea ice volume, snow cover, air and ocean temperatures, and more. The Arctic report card comes as scientists already report 2023 will be officially the hottest year on record.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at over Beaver Creek. Right for now, quiet. We do have clouds moving through, though, and that's kind of interesting. Why? Because clouds can do a little bit of a blanket trick here. We are at the point of the morning where we could drop another few degrees if it was clear and light winds. But with this cloud deck, my instinct says that we may see temperatures bounce off the bottom. If you're familiar with stock market, there's a term dead cat bounce. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. You know, it is going to be just a little bit of a boost, but not by much at all. Temperatures today, low to mid 40s. So we are talking about a half dozen degrees cooler than yesterday. Tonight, 24 degrees. It becomes clear and quite cold. In fact, I would dare say tomorrow we may have 1 or 2 upper teens. I'm looking at the usual suspects, whether it's Darke County, whether it's Xenia in particular. That was the cold spot earlier this fall. Those are going to be the more likely for us to drop. Tomorrow, 48 degrees as we turn mostly sunny and it becomes warmer. From there, we'll actually turn warm over the weekend. Here's what we're tracking, though. We now have a shot at some showers. Right for now, I'm thinking could be early Saturday into Sunday. Yesterday, we were leaning more towards Sunday to Monday. So we're still trying to pin this system down. But the general theme is for there to be some shot at wet weather and then a much cooler Monday, Tuesday. On the roads this morning, no wet weather to speak of, no traffic problems to speak of. Unfortunately, though, our traffic cams are down. Can't show you the live picture, but right for now, green across the board.
Retailers across the country losing billions of dollars to organized retail crime.
The issue is top of mind for many lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Janae Bowens has more.
Scenes like these have become commonplace in our nation's suburbs and cities.
Detergent, lotion, a lot of products are being used and sold. You can talk about human trafficking, you can talk about terrorism. That money definitely goes elsewhere.
Sacramento County Sheriff Jim Cooper is doing what he can to stop organized retail crime. But he says he needs help.
There's a lot of international folks involved in this.
The problem was a focus on Tuesday at a House Homeland Security hearing.
Do you think having maybe a billionaire like George Soros spending $40 million of his own money, supporting leftist prosecutors and DAs who are soft on crime might have something to do with it?
Republicans blame Democrat policies on crime and the border for the issue, but not all witnesses agreed.
Any trends there?
But there was shared disappointment when it came to the safety concerns these criminals pose, some store workers even losing their lives.
You will sense the fear and the trauma and how much impact this has on human beings.
Today, we're locking up valuable product, employing off-duty police and security officers, and even putting police cars on the front aprons of our stores.
The latest retail security survey shows in 2022, retailers lost over $112 billion. That's up from $93.9 billion in 2021. Organized retail crime is partly to blame.
And when stores start closing due to the effects of ORC, we see loss of jobs, we see loss of state and local sales tax generated, and loss of property tax generated, and of course it's a blight on the community.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers and retail industry leaders are pushing for the passage of the Combating Organized Retail Crime Act. It would establish coordination between several agencies to stop this wide-scale theft. In Washington, I'm Janae Bowens.
Our time right now is 5:17. Why did the hot chocolate go to the police? Because it got mugged. It's National Hot Chocolate Day. Just ahead, how you can stir up a cup and celebrate.
You're watching Your Day.
It is time for Pet of the Day. Of course, we celebrate pets, and boy, oh boy, we have had a ton of photos of animals near Christmas trees. Now, if you have a cat, and you know, I've had 2 cats in my life, one of which who always found herself not around the tree, in the tree, and the other one who, well, let's just say we would find ornaments under the couch 6 months later and go, hey, that's where that went. Anyway, Maximilian is joining us today. Debbie sent in Maximilian. You can see he enjoying the tree there. Today we are going to maybe not enjoy, but have to contend with some cooler temperatures. It'll be low to mid 40s, so it's not ridiculously cold, but it is cooler for this time of year, or cooler than yesterday, as we have dropped probably about 7 degrees. Yesterday we hit 50, which was an incredible rise. Today, not so much, but guess what? Warmer weather is here for tomorrow, so fear not, cats. Perhaps Santa is granting you your wish. Now, if you are traveling this morning, we're not seeing any major issues outside. Things are moving smoothly across the board.
A new study shows patients gain much of the weight back after stopping the new weight loss drugs. A study published in the American Medical Association Journal suggests that patients will need to stay on the drugs for life. Now, cost can also be an issue. Lilly's Zepbound costs just over $1,000 a month, and insurance companies often do not cover the weight loss medications. Well, the oldest among them is 26, but Gen Z already worried about looking older. CNN reports are opting for prevention and increasingly buying things like anti-aging cosmetics. Experts blame social media when faces are front and center. And more than half of America's employees say they're stressed at work every day, according to a Gallup poll. Meanwhile, a new study says urologist is the most stressful job. The Occupational Information Network says being a physician is a stressful job as you're taking care of people's health, but also have to worry about lawsuits and running a medical office. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
Actor Andre Braugher died Monday after a brief illness, according to his publicist. Braugher was best known for his roles in Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Homicide: Life on the Street. He won his first Emmy in 1998 for Outstanding Lead Actor in a drama series for Homicide. Braugher's second Emmy came for his work on the 2006 FX miniseries Thief. He was also nominated 4 times for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Braugher was 61.
The Food and Drug Administration may review an ingredient that's in street drugs and one that could enhance therapy treatment of PTSD. Now, MDMA, also called ecstasy, is the active ingredient in street drugs like ecstasy and Molly. It's a psychedelic drug that produces experiences of emotional openness, among other things. The new application with the FDA was filed yesterday. MAPS Benefit Public Corporation found MDMA significantly reduces symptoms and impairment associated with PTSD.
The weather is getting colder, and just in time for today's holiday, it is National Hot Cocoa Day. Hot cocoa is a mix of cocoa powder, sugar, and hot milk or water. The terms hot chocolate and hot cocoa are used interchangeably here in the U.S., although hot chocolate is a little different. There are many ways to enjoy the warm drink, including with marshmallows, whipped cream. So today, grab your favorite mug and cocoa to celebrate one of the coziest things about winter.
So our producer, Allie, she made us a little bit of hot cocoa. We have some Swiss Miss in the break room. She says she doesn't know if it's mixed enough.
Milk? Okay, I got 2 questions because obviously no marshmallows, no whipped cream. Okay, we can deal with that. Milk or water?
Water. We don't have milk here.
It's okay.
So we're all team milk, and we are all team marshmallows or whipped cream on it. So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to. Cheers.
Already started drinking.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I did too. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, look, even hot on a cold day, hot cocoa just hits. You know, I will partake in it, and I will be fine with it.
Stay thirsty, Stay thirsty, my friends.
Okay.
Now, now.
The most interesting man in the world.
That's right. You know, I don't know. Wouldn't it be great if they could make hot cocoa with caffeine? I mean,
no, that would be awful.
Well, you could probably put some espresso in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what a mocha is.
Yeah, but like, I don't want the like just a sweet little. I don't know. I just need a lot of caffeine this hour.
So I was reading about like the origins of hot chocolate, and the natives in America used to make it, but it was a bitter drink, and it was up to the Europeans who go, you know what would make this great? If we just chucked a whole bunch of sugar at it, and that's basically how we got hot chocolate.
And that's the way we do it here in America.
Just chuck sugar.
We love sugar. Anyways.
We love our sugar.
We enjoy you. Stay thirsty.
Ew, stop.
Sorry.
They're going to turn off their TVs.
The slow Zoom this week has become a staple, and I'm very sorry, Alex. Our time right now is 5:26, still to come.
If you're looking to donate this season, there's a toy drive going on today. Stay tuned for details after the break.
Time is running out for presents to ship before Christmas. Just had dates to keep in mind for holiday shopping online.
You're watching your Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. A grandfather is going viral after a video shows him falling into his granddaughter's crib. His family had lowered the mattress since the 2-year-old had been climbing out, but it was too low for Grandpa trying to tuck her in. And if you haven't seen the video, it is actually so...
We had it here in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but he like leans over and you just see his feet just fall in.
I'm not gonna lie, my wife fell into the crib when, cause she's so short that she was like trying to lift up to try to reach in, and her legs are up, and then she went.
So funny. You had to come help her get her out.
Nah, she's fine. She wobbled back, you know. She's all right. And the North Pole just released its official naughty and nice list. According to the North Pole Department of Christmas Affairs, Alex and Nick are on the nice list. And guys, this rigged. And you know what? This may be no surprise to you, but I am on the naughty list. Come on, Santa.
I did learn that my full name, Alexandra, is on the naughty list as well.
I don't buy this. I'm gonna go look it up independently because I have a feeling our executive producer, Andy, rigged this to make me look bad today.
I'm definitely on the nice list either way.
What would I do to be on the naughty list?
You see how your voice changes tone? That means you know you deserve to be on the naughty list.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Hugh Grant says he's too old, fat, and ugly to do romantic comedies. He told Drew Barrymore he never liked the genre anyway and prefers more interesting character roles.
Hugh Grant's at that great cranky old age, you know, phase of his life. He's just, you know, so he's like, I won't do rom-coms, but I'll be an Oompa Loompa. Okay, good for you, Hugh Grant.
Hey, you know
Those
what?
character
When you're
roles.
rich, you can choose what roles you want to play.
Yeah, you gotta get that bag, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Today, one local organization will be spreading Christmas cheer to children in need.
It's been happening for 3 decades now, and each year they'll be able to help a little more. Melina Brown joins us live now from Dayton with more.
This year, For the Love of Children are giving gifts to over 2,000 children throughout the Dayton area, which includes Montgomery County Children's Services and other surrounding areas. Flock calls it their Christmas Toy Cottage, and they've been doing it for the last 30 years. The group is distributing gifts to low-income schools, local churches, and registered families in the area, and most donations include toys and clothes, but they tell us monetary donations are also extremely helpful. On your screen now is where you can donate. It's Flock's website, flockdaytonohio.org. You can donate monetarily right on the website or send a check by mail. You can also find volunteer opportunities there as well. Again, this toy drive has been happening for over the last 3 decades, and they will help over 2,000 children this year. So if you want to find out more information, go ahead and head to our website, Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Like yesterday, we're dealing with a wind chill this morning. It is down in the low 20s. Unlike yesterday, we do have some clouds moving in. I'm not quite sure if these are going to be that thick enough that we're going to see a huge bounce in temperature, but there is at least a possibility that we've reached either the coldest point or perhaps maybe we bounce a degree or 2. You know, anything does help in this environment to make it go from, let's say, the low 20s to the mid 20s. And speaking of, we'll be in the mid 20s this morning, upper 20s by 9, and then 11 a.m. mid 30s. And when I talk about wind chill, you could probably subtract at least 4 to 5 degrees from just about all of these. Although once we get into the middle of the day, temperatures should be able to get into the 40s yet again. I don't think it'll be as warm as yesterday where it hit 50, but still, it'll be, technically speaking, above average. If you are traveling this morning, no issues right now on the interstates or state roads. That's across all of the region. We are quiet as of right now.
We now know the name of the man killed in a shooting last week in Dayton. The Montgomery County coroner identified 35-year-old Dominique Battle. Last Wednesday, police found Battle and a woman shot on Brooklyn Avenue. Medics took that woman to the hospital for her injuries. And police believe 48-year-old Sean Jackson shot Battle. He faces multiple counts of murder, felonious assault, and having weapons under disability. He's currently in the Montgomery County Jail. The Gaza region is in shambles from the Israel-Gaza war. Medical authorities say the region is full of diseases, including chickenpox and meningitis.
Although there is a push to stop the fighting, U.S. officials fear tensions might escalate even more during the holiday season. John Lawrence reports.
The United Nations General Assembly overwhelmingly voted in favor of demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza.
Draft Resolution A/ES10/L27 has been adopted.
Check this out. NASA releasing a new image of the youngest supernova remnant in our galaxy called Cassiopeia A, or Cass-A. It was taken by the James Webb Space Telescope. That's pretty sweet. And this is a close and most detailed look inside an exploded star. Astronomers used Webb's near-infrared camera to see the supernova remnant at different wavelengths of light than used in previous observations. Cass-A seems to shine like a Christmas ornament and is included in the first ever digital White House Advent calendar. That's wild.
That's insane.
Exploding star.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, can we like imagine that on an ornament?
It looked dope.
Like just one of those ornaments where, you know,
Just
like
a whole galaxy themed.
What instead, like, instead of the star up on the top of the tree, you just give me the Cassiosopa or whatever that thing's called.
How would they do that, though?
Cassiopeia. I don't know.
I mean, you just get a glasswork, Alex. I mean, you know, you get a person with not a lot of, you know.
Let's call it Neil deGrasse Tyson. He can tell us, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
He'll probably complain about like 18 other things science related in the interim. And that's coming from a scientist.
He complains a lot, does he? Anyways.
Let's go to the weather wall. Look, I complain a lot, but I also could joke about things. There are some times where, we, as scientists, look, we got to have some fun with things. I mean, come on. Like, that is a really cool photo, and we're getting some really awesome stuff out of the James Webb Telescope. And, before that was, of course, the Hubble Telescope. Meanwhile, for today, it's the cloudy skies. We'll continue to see them at times this morning. Notice by the afternoon, should be low to mid 40s based on the timing of the clouds and maybe how few and far between they may be. I think we got a good shot at going to mid 40s, especially after yesterday. We got all the way to 50. I just don't see us necessarily hanging out in the upper 30s all day. Meanwhile, for tomorrow, we do get down cold. I think it'll get down low 20s for some of us, and then highs should be right around upper 40s, somewhere in the ballpark of 50. Could actually hit 50 tomorrow if everything goes right. Better chances of 50 on Friday, this despite the fact that we do deal with more clouds.
U.S. consumer price inflation cooling more in the last month. That's according to the latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. One of the reasons for the slight drop, falling gas prices.
But even with the encouraging trend, a closer look at the numbers shows prices in some sectors are still rising. Ivan Rodriguez has the story.
Stocks inching higher during the trading day Tuesday after the release of new figures from the Bureau of Labor Statistics continue to show inflation is easing. The latest consumer price index rose 3.1% for the 12 months ending in November, showing a slight decline from the 3.2% in October.
Compared to pre-pandemic levels, prices are still higher. The good news is that inflation peaked a long time ago.
Gas prices sank 5.8% from October, driving the drop in CPI, but the cost of shelter still shows no signs of easing.
We still have higher costs for shelter and services overall, so there's still a bit of a battle going on out there with respect to prices.
Food prices, on the other hand, moderated from the month before, with inflation down nearly 2/3 from its peak of 9.1% last June. President Biden is celebrating progress.
America's had the strongest growth and now is the lowest inflation of any major economy in the world, but there's more to do.
When taking out more volatile components like food and gas prices, core CPI rose 0.3% from October, leaving the year-over-year growth rate unchanged at 4%, the lowest it's been since September 2021.
Inflation has moderated somewhat more quickly than expected of late, and so we could get a pleasant surprise that inflation is not nearly the factor that we might have thought in the coming year.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Our time right now is 5:45. Today in hometown hero Adam Arrow highlights a local man making a big difference in the lives of those struggling with addiction.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A wispy cold weather pink palette, cotton candy hued clouds were caught forming streaks south of Syracuse, New York. Meanwhile, in North Carolina, it appears this recent mix of frosty trees, fog, clouds, and sun form a natural portrait, a silver and gold dawn. Also near Asheville, this bare neighbor takes a stroll on a recent frosty morning.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
You know, I was looking at that bear walking through the woods, and all I could think about is we used to have some open fields, and we still do, you know, catering area. And I just remember watching deer and some of the other animals go through them. And especially when you do get the snow, it's always nice seeing other animals out and about in the elements. Now, speaking of the elements, if you're stepping outside this morning, this is the wind chill. So this is not the actual air temperature. This is what it feels like. You go back to yesterday, we had 20s and teens. We are very similar this morning. It's a case where the temperature itself has crashed a little bit more. There's still just a touch of wind, but not even enough that it's stirring the fronds back there on the tree. So effectively, right for now, we're pretty quiet. It is chilly, so you definitely want to make sure you are bundled up if you're heading outside, but I think tomorrow could be technically even colder than this morning.
A local man is making a big difference in the lives of those struggling with addiction.
And he's using exercise to make it happen. It's why, as Adam Merrill explains, he's a hometown hero.
This is Elijah Glazer. Recently, he was honored with an Exceptional People Award by the Mental Health Recovery Board of Clark, Greene, and Madison counties. Here's why. Glazer himself is a recovering addict and spent years struggling with it. But through treatment, he discovered the difference exercise could make.
Which led to me forgiving myself, which led to me loving myself.
So he created a place called Recovery X in Springfield. It's a place where those in treatment can attend fitness classes and be part of a very supportive community. More than 300 people have gone through the program so far.
And I wanted to give them that part that I think is missing in treatment. And I want them to love themselves. I want them to forgive themselves. I want them to walk in freedom.
Glazer's mother-in-law, Lisa, nominated him as a hometown hero. She says he's one of the hardest working men she knows, and that everyone is so proud of his dedication to those in recovery and his work ethic. I couldn't agree more, and I think Elijah Glazer is without question a hometown hero.
If you know someone that's a hometown hero, let us know. Grab your phone and scan the QR code.
You can chime in your submission through our app. We need a description on why they're a hometown hero and a few pictures or video.
Our time right now is 5:50. You're not imagining things. Hallucinate is dictionary.com's word of the year. Just said why they felt it describes 2023.
You're watching Your Day.
Whatever year.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at in Beaver Creek this morning, where it is fairly quiet. As you may have heard, my hands have betrayed me yet again. As for the clouds, they still continue to stream into the Miami Valley. Be interested to see if we start looking. I think we've risen a degree or two. It's not like we're going to bump up a whole lot. We're not going to go from the mid-20s into suddenly the mid-30s this morning, but we'll probably see anywhere from mid to upper 20s, maybe a couple of upper 20s, meaning 29 by the end of the morning. Not a lot of wind, unlike yesterday. That was a little bit more breezy during the morning, but here's the stirring of the air. Today we're aiming for low to mid 40s, somewhere around 42, 43, maybe low 40s as you work your way a little bit further north. Then for overnight tonight, we drop all the way down 20s. We're pointing out that tomorrow probably will be the colder morning, but I'm not quite sure if there's going to be a vast difference between what it feels like this morning, what it felt like yesterday, and what it feels like tomorrow morning. It may be just all in the same, where you're reaching for a coat and you're just wishing it was warmer. Speaking of warmer, tomorrow will turn warmer during the daytime with highs in the upper 40s, but we'll get above 50 starting Friday. Should linger Saturday and Sunday. We are tracking the next shot at some rain. That does seem like it's going to be more of a Saturday night into a Sunday time event. We do have one issue right now on the roads, and that is I-75 South near Dryden Road. That is the two left lanes are blocked. So if you're familiar with that area, that is pretty backed up as we speak. So again, I-75 South to Dryden Road. We'll try and get a live picture from that area if we can, but right for now, know that that is a problem spot.
Netflix releasing its most transparent data to date about viewership. It shows what people watched during a 6-month period and will be published twice a year. Streaming services pledged to increase transparency about how many hours certain programs are streamed as part of the Writers Guild of America contract ratified in October. This report covers January to June of this year. For Netflix, The Night Agent Season 1 had the most streams with more than 812 million hours. Ginny and Georgia Season 2 and The Glory Season 1 had more than 660 million hours each.
One of Tennessee's most famous residents is lending a helping hand following devastating tornadoes. Taylor Swift donated $1 million to the Tennessee Emergency Response Fund. She owns a home in Nashville, suburb of Hendersonville. That area was impacted by a tornado that produced winds of 125 miles per hour. It was just one of several twisters that killed 6 people and left thousands homeless in the state.
Well, you're not imagining things. Hallucinate is Dictionary.com's word of the year. Spokespeople for the website say they're not focused on its typical definition of seeing things that aren't there. Instead, they're interested in its meaning that pertains to artificial intelligence. Now, that definition is, quote, to produce false information contrary to the intent of the user and present it as a true and factual. In other words, it's when AI confidently makes stuff up. They say hallucinate is the winner because AI is changing both society and language. And I often find myself, even on TikTok now, double checking things just to make sure it's not AI generated, because there's some stuff I'm like, that doesn't seem right.
I just showed you the Airbnb that we were looking at. That looks like all AI because it's just picture perfect looking.
Yeah. Well, look at Sports Illustrated. They got caught basically having AI generated images, AI generated articles. And, you know, it's one of those things where AI could be a wonderful tool. It can crunch numbers. They've used it for scientific stuff. But at the same time, it's also user driven, which means, you know, there's going to be some user error. And then AI goes, that's fact.
Yeah, well, plus you got to think about the intent of the people sometimes using it as well. So
chaos.
Yes.
Taking over.
Hallucinate. All right, we got a lot more coming up on your day at 6 a.m.
If you want to give back this season, there is a toy drive going on today. I'm going to share details after the break.
You're watching Your Day. morning. I'm Alex King.
And I'm Nathan Edwards. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. Head out to the Oregon District this Saturday for their annual holiday market. There's going to be 40 pop-up shops open from noon to 5 p.m. I got to get down there. That sounds fun.
Yes. It sounds like, oh, we could go after a Christmas party.
Oh, yes. Stop at Culture, the new pop-up or the new brick and mortar place downtown, Chef Dane.
Yep.
Yeah, sign me up.
Heck yeah, shop local, love to see it. And a whimsical holiday spectacular is coming to the Victoria Theater this weekend. Cirque Dreams Holidays is a high-flying act that is for the whole family.
I would love to try this and be like, help get me down. It'd be great though.
Yeah,
The Victoria.
I would do that one. You can do that one.
That does not
The
look.
loop.
I'm very flexible, let me tell you. That
You
would
are.
look totally normal.
So you can do that.
I could. I'd be broken for at least a month after, but
You can put your head behind your foot
okay,
behind your head.
Not that flexible, okay? And winter ice creams are back at Young's Jersey Dairy. Head out now for peppermint stick. You got hot cocoa peppermint and pistachio. I'd be interested to try pistachio. I've never had pistachio ice cream.
I would try it.
I would too.
But I'm definitely
Yeah,
either of those.
Peppermint. When we taste tested the peppermint ice cream from Grader's the other day, that put me in the mood. I was like, whoa.
So good.
So good. Sign me up.
Today, one local organization will be spreading Christmas cheer to children in need.
And it's been happening for 3 decades now, and each year they're able to help a little more. Melena Brown joins us live in Dayton this morning with more. Melena.
Every year, Flock, also known as For the Love of Children, delivers Christmas gifts to 1,000 children that are working with Montgomery County Children's Services, but it doesn't stop here. They expect to help more than 2,400 children this year, which includes donations to low-income schools, local churches, and registered families in the Dayton area. The donations range from toys to clothing items like coats and other necessities this time of year. Montgomery County Children's Services say they start preparing with Flock in September to make sure everything is ready to go in December so children and families are taken care of.
It means the world because there's basically, a lot of kids that are going to go, without, just throughout the entire year, but also definitely around the time of Christmas.
Asana Taylor with Montgomery County Children's Services says even for the caseworkers and other employees, it's the most wonderful time of the year being able to see the families they have get gifts for Christmas. And there is still time to donate. I'm going to share with you how coming up after the break. Back to you.
Good morning. Temperatures right for now are in the mid-20s. It's about as cold as yesterday. I mean, I really don't think that we're seeing a huge difference, but of course, you know what, we can check that out and let's go for it, shall we? Yeah, okay, it is much cooler. I think the difference is, of course, the winds were significantly more yesterday, so it felt cooler. Temperatures, though, mid-20s for right now, upper 20s expected at 9 a.m., and by 11, we should be in the mid-30s. Notice that the trend is for any cloud cover to start dissipating. Not that I expect it to be particularly that cloudy, per se. I think it's going to be a mix of sun and clouds, though, especially as we break daylight. Now, if you are traveling, we do have one ongoing issue, and it's actually a pretty decent one. This is over by, let's see, that's south of Dryden Road there. If you look towards Caroline, which should be the next exit up, there it is. That one is where we could see that, I'm not quite sure if traffic stopped there or if it's, yep, it is backed up still. Now, this is going to be a problem spot for this morning, but we just got in touch with dispatch. 2 vehicle crash, 2 left lanes. They do expect it to clear up soon, so optimistically that shouldn't be much of a problem for too much longer.
Governor Mike DeWine's calls for changes to the state's marijuana laws are on pause. The House won't be able to vote on it before members leave for the holidays. House members asked for patience so they can handle the bill thoroughly. Now here's a breakdown of that bill. The bill will cap THC amounts at 90% for extracts and 35% for the plant. It would also impose a 10% sales tax on all marijuana sales. The bill would also set up a separate process to allow those with previous marijuana possession convictions to have that criminal record expunged.
Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus back to normal operations after a lockdown yesterday. Our sister station in the state's capital says police responded to 2 calls about a suspicious man on the property. The hospital sent out a code silver alert to employees warning about a 65-year-old man carrying a rifle. The building locked down for about 40 minutes. Columbus police did not find a suspect. The department is investigating.
A new Sheetz is making its way into Beaver Creek after City Council approved rezoning.
Jenny Borg shares where it's going.
This would be the second Sheetz location in Beaver Creek. Right now, a wooded area stands there, and it would be near the intersection of Eastside Drive and Colonel Glenn Highway. Plans are moving forward for a second Sheetz location in Beaver Creek. One is already being built on Fairfield Road, not far from Dayton Xenia Road. I spoke to Beaver Creek Mayor Bob Stone, who thinks it will be a good addition, especially for one group of people.
So it benefits, in my opinion, it benefits Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And whatever benefits Wright-Patterson Air Force Base typically benefits Beaver Creek and the surrounding communities.
Stone says this Sheetz location will be convenient for people who work on the base to quickly grab something on breaks. It's already been decided an additional traffic light will be needed after the city looked at the traffic study Sheetz did. So an increase in traffic is expected. Lights are only installed when the traffic volume warrants it. Stone says the next step in the plan would be Sheetz needs to go back to the Planning Commission with a site plan that'll detail more of the construction, and there will be a public hearing when it's time for that part to be presented. Back to you.
Kettering City school leaders voting to approve the suspension of teacher Matthew Kohler. Kohler faces child pornography charges, and he's also accused of inappropriately touching a former student. Now the decision means Kohler is officially on unpaid leave. Kohler's now on house arrest. He's ordered not to have unsupervised contact with children.
Kettering police warning about a rise in car break-ins at the Van Buren apartments. They released this map showing reports of 3 thefts, 2 stolen vehicles, and 2 attempted thefts. Police say these usually happen between midnight and 6 a.m. So keep an eye out, and they are increasing patrols in the area. If you see or hear anything suspicious, you can call police dispatch. That number is on your screen now.
Tonight is Heroes Night at Clifton Mill. All first responders will get $5 off admission. A portion of the proceeds go to Michael's House. That's an advocacy center for kids and family affected by abuse in Greene County. This runs from 5 to 9.
Holiday trivia is your chance to get some extra money under the tree. Use your phone's camera to scan the QR code on your screen right now to enter. Get the questions right and you could win the daily prize of a $100 Visa gift card, or you could be entered to win the $5,000 weekly prize. Be sure to watch Your Day every morning this week for more chances. For complete contest rules, go to Dayton247now.com. Holiday trivia is sponsored by Thrush & Son.
Our time right now is 6:08. Don't forget, you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Top day for heart attacks each year, Christmas. I'm Liz Bonus, but we all need to know about holiday heart syndrome. It is just ahead.
You're watching Your Day.
All right, well, this morning we are talking about cool weather. We've been mentioning that for the last little bit, but let's turn our attention to later on today. Perhaps maybe you're like me. I got home yesterday. I needed to do something just to keep my mind occupied. So found one of the neighbor kids who was laying on the lawn. I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm just laying here." And I go, "Well, you got a football?" "Yeah." "All right, give it to me." And we ended up playing catch for, probably 10, 15, 20 minutes till it got dark. Now, that was about 5 p.m. That's where it went from around 50 into the 40s. Actually got pretty chilly. Today, we're going to go from the 40s into the 30s about that time period. So keep in mind, we are be about a half dozen degrees, maybe slightly cooler than that during the daytime comparatively. It's not like this is below average. In fact, this is technically above average, but it is going to be cooler than yesterday. So just keep that in mind as you head out the door. Now, if you are going to be heading out the door anytime and traveling south of Dayton in particular, this is over by Carillon. You can see that significant delay. 2 left lanes were blocked. We did talk to dispatch. It is a 2-vehicle crash, excuse me. There were no injuries reported, but they do expect it to be cleared up sometime shortly. Still, though, there's a pretty significant delay in that area, and it is going to take just a little bit longer for it to clean up. So again, that's in between Dryden Road and Carillon, if you're familiar with that area. Do have one other incident, and that's at Forest Ave at West Grand Ave. But again, 75 southbound right now, a little bit backlogged due to that crash.
A warning today from cardiologists as we head into Christmas week and the new year.
That's right. Medical reporter Liz Bona shares what they want us to know about holiday heart syndrome.
Hey there, everybody. Holiday heart syndrome is a collection of symptoms that raise our risk for heart events around the holidays.
It likely contributes to some startling statistics this time of year. According to the American Heart Association's journal Circulation, more cardiac deaths occur on December 25th than on any other day of the year. The second largest number of cardiac deaths occurs on December 26th, and the third on January 1st. Dr. Konstantin German, a cardiologist at Ohio's Tri-Health, explains what contributes to holiday heart syndrome.
The holidays are a great time. People get together. Unfortunately, we also tend to kind of, have a little bit more of excess.
Excess alcohol, excess caffeine, excess food high in salt and fat, as well as excess stress all contribute to the #1 presenting symptom of holiday heart syndrome, he says, atrial fibrillation, or an irregular heart rhythm.
Symptoms can include a racing heart, chest pressure, chest pain, and the big issue of atrial fibrillation is if you have certain other risk factors such as heart failure, hypertension, age over 65, diabetes, or previous heart attacks or strokes, you are at a higher risk for future strokes.
Dr. German says avoiding excess alcohol this time of year is his top suggestion to prevent this syndrome. It tends to lower inhibitions, which can drive up food intake and potentially add stress to already stressful situations.
The American Heart Association also says being aware that these lifestyle choices influence the heart also critical in prevention. With your health news, I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus.
Our time right now is 6:14. You're watching Your Day.
All right, we'll give you a live look at amsmeteors.org. This meteor shower is currently over our galaxy. It is the Geminid meteor shower and expected to light up the skies here in the U.S. tonight, I believe, right, Nick?
Yeah, it's peaking tonight. So don't forget, these tend to last not just a couple of hours, but sometimes days. I believe the big meteor showers actually last a week or two. It's just when are you going to see the most activity, and this is the case where it is going to be today. And part of the reason you do see is that's where the Earth's orbit does start to go closer and closer to the meteors themselves. We don't have to worry about, one plowing into the Earth, but it does leave for a nice light show.
I was going to say probably a lot of what looks like shooting stars all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you have a wish list for Santa and you want to, maybe double check or, double tap, you can do it that way.
Hey, Jiminy Cricket's going to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. And
when you wish upon a star, da, 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 da. Right? No?
Yes.
No, Jiminy? No? Come on.
Oh, you didn't like that one.
I know what the reference was, and I just didn't want to admit it. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I was going in your wheelhouse like pre-World War II.
Let's go into the weather wall before this turns into another let's make fun of Nick comment reel here. Beaver Creek. Yes, I know when you wish upon a star. Or what was that? Disney, right? Yeah, that was the Disney commercial back in the day. Always, too.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, okay. Pinocchio.
1940, your wheelhouse.
I can't even go over to the weather while I'm here. I wish I could go hide behind the screen. Anyway, here's what we're looking at this morning. Beaver Creek looking okay. Clouds have started to move back in. I'm not quite sure how thick this cloud deck is, unfortunately, this time of year. And also based on the satellite, really tough to tell, but we will get a better idea once the sun comes up, of course. I do expect it to linger through maybe late morning and then exit out of here. Wednesday itself will be sunny, and then the second half of second half of Wednesday, completely sunny. First half of Thursday turns cold. The second half turns warmer. Effectively, there's going to be that crossover period, probably 10-11, where we're going to see a 0 for the temperature difference, but tomorrow, by and large, should be a warmer day as highs get upper 40s. Maybe some of us can make a run at 50. We'll start out Friday warmer. Clouds will move in Friday. Despite that, it should be a warmer day as highs get to 50 degrees. So Friday begins a string of 50s, could culminate with a couple of shower chances, whether it's Saturday night or more towards Sunday night. Still working out the details, but that general time period. All right, if you are on the roads this morning, here's what you need to know. We still have that crash just to the south of Carolyn, the Carolyn area. This is as you head I-75 south, so in between that and Dryden Road. Now, if you are traveling in that direction, it is backlogged towards 35. I don't think it's quite to that point yet. So again, this is heading out of Dayton, heading down towards the Cincinnati area, heading towards Kettering. So again, I-75 south, a little bit slow going. You can see the delay there as well. So that's it on 75. We do have that one other crash that is at Grand Ave at Forest Ave. That's it so far this morning.
Topping this morning's Dayton Business Journal headlines, a Kettering-based Mexican fast casual restaurant chain plans to expand next year. Hothead Burritos is on track to open 10 to 12 new stores in 2024 and hopes to double that in 2025. That's around 100 to 120 new jobs. The company's VP says Hothead Burritos performed very well this year despite inflationary concerns. To read more about this story and others like it, head to Dayton247now.com, click on the news tab and select Dayton Business Journal.
Our time right now is 6:22. Digital producer Max waiting in the wings. Your Facebook poll question coming up in minutes.
You're watching Your Day.
It is time for Pet of the Day here on your day. And, you know, Max, who's in studio, we've got Maximilian joining us here. Maximilian, of course, is the cat sent in by Debbie. Big thank you to Debbie. And there you see it, a big fluff ball hanging out near the Christmas tree. I always love this time of year. Some of the pets really do love the Christmas tree. And yeah, it's a gorgeous look and a gorgeous cat there. Not bad today. I wouldn't call it gorgeous. It's in the mid 40s, but we've certainly seen a lot worse. Note the fact that we will see a lot of sunshine. So in that regard, yeah, it's going to be a great day. Difference is, of course, it is going to be on the cooler side. So keep that in mind that, you know, today, a little bit more need jacket, but it's still not going to be brutally cold considering, technically speaking, it is going to be above average. Now, if you are traveling, of course, the biggest issue still remains the area between Dryden Road and Carillon. That is where we do have that delay. And just to give you an idea, that is getting to the point where it's starting to get into the downtown area. So if that's part of your morning commute, you want to give yourself some extra time. And even if it's not, so if you're traveling, let's say, southbound near 35, you may start to see a little bit of residual delays. So that's one of the things about the morning. Just got to deal with the morning commute.
All right, digital producer Max joining us this morning in his fisherman sweater.
You know, this is what I would wear to an actual Christmas party, assuming, you know, it was a bit more formal than cat Santa.
And nothing is more delightful and comforting than a sweater than hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate is my favorite. But what do you put on top? Do you use the little marshmallows, one big one, or maybe some whipped cream?
Okay. Well, here's my take on it, okay, because there's something omitted from this poll. I love marshmallows, okay, that's easy, but I will go Cool Whip any day of the week. It's not really whipped cream. Cool Whip is different. Cool Whip is like a balance.
It's pretty much the same.
It's
not
the
really,
same
though.
thing.
It's not the same thing.
No, Cool Whip.
Pretty much.
Cool Whip is basically the equivalent of like just industrial processed, like whipped cream.
Yes.
You're making my mouth water.
It is hydrogenated everything. Anyways.
Alex, before we get too deep into this.
Honestly, I do not discriminate when it comes to toppings on my hot chocolate. I love marshmallows, I love whipped cream, and I love Cool Whip. But my go-to usually is whipped cream just because that's what I usually have at home.
Yeah, at a restaurant, always whipped cream. At home, if my mom throws some marshmallows, cool. If not, I typically just do it plain. Max?
Whipped cream, if it's one big marshmallow, it's not going to melt, and what am I supposed to do with it? Just eat it at the end?
Yes.
And the mini ones, I usually just don't even taste them. The whipped cream adds that creaminess to the hot chocolate.
Yeah.
I think that it's just better.
The mini ones like all get stuck together and then they stick to you when you're taking a sip.
Frankly, I don't think there's a bad take on this subject.
Yeah, I agree.
To be honest with you. We got a lot more coming up from Max here in a little bit. Get in your answers. We'll read some of yours coming up here in just a few.
Max. Our time right now is 6:28. Still to come.
If you're in the spirit of giving this holiday season, stay tuned after the break. We have a donation opportunity.
And time's running out for presents to ship before Christmas. Just ahead, dates to keep in mind for the holiday shopping season.
But first, here's Nick Calderon with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
Not today, man. Dead car batteries. Every single time you're trying to get out of the house on time, be someplace, it happens. That click, click, click. Or you're on the side of the road on a gray, cold, dark day like today. It's never fun, but I have the answer for you. It's called the Jump Smart, and it can get you back on the road quickly. Watch this. Plug the 2 alligator clips in right here. Red clamp to red on the battery. Black to black, I get a beep and a green light, and now I can start my car back up. Just like that. I don't have to wait for roadside assistance or anybody else to come and help me out. I keep a Jump Smart in every family member's car. My daughters have one, my wife has one, and I know I have peace of mind, and so do they. It's also a 10-in-1 tool. It's got a compass, a thermometer, it's a flashlight and a strobe light, many other tools as well. And my favorite part, you can charge your cell phone with the 2 included USB ports on the back. If you lose power in a storm or something, just plug your phone in and you can stay connected with family and friends. Speaking of them, put one in every family member's car. 31% off right now at asadeals.com.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. A grandfather is going viral after video shows him falling into his granddaughter's crib. His family had lowered the mattress since the 2-year-old had been climbing out, but it was too low for Grandpa, trying to tuck her in.
I'm not gonna lie, the cribs are they're so high. I totally understand this. I mean, it is not easy.
That's hilarious.
It says rock up high, and down will come Grandpa, cradle and all. Yeah.
Oh, and me right in the baby's
That poor
face.
kid's like, oh, what is happening? Yeah, they won't remember.
Sound asleep, and Grandpa's just over here tumbling on top.
Yeah, lucky one. And the North Pole just released its official naughty and nice list, okay? Now, according to North Pole's Department of Christmas Affairs, Alex and Nick are both on Santa's nice list. As for me, well, I'm sure all you at home could probably guess I am on the naughty list. I don't think I deserve this slander from Saint Nick. I don't know. What did I do? I played Christmas music during the breaks. I'm a joy.
Are you?
I'm ornery. That's what it is. I like to cause problems for fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly why you're on the naughty list.
Darn it.
Hugh Grant says he's too old, fat, and ugly to do romantic comedies. He told Drew Barrymore he never liked the genre anyway and prefers more interesting character roles.
Well, Hugh Grant's just in his
king of romance.
He is in his zaddy era. And
Yeah,
he just
which
doesn't.
is all the more reason for him to do a romance.
Exactly. I don't know. I get it though. He's right. He's right.
Yeah.
He's doing like kids movies now. So
It's time to mix it up.
hey, I'm
him.
excited to see him in Wonka. Not gonna lie, that movie looks really good.
Yeah. Oh. Today, one local organization will be spreading Christmas cheer to children in need.
It's been happening for 3 decades now, and each year they're able to help a little bit more. Melina Brown joins us live this morning with more. Melina.
This year, For the Love of Children is giving gifts to over 2,000 children throughout the Dayton area, which includes families within the Montgomery County Children's Services and other surrounding areas. Flock calls it their Christmas toy cottage, and they've been doing it for the past 30 years. The group is distributing gifts to low-income schools, local churches, and registered families in the area. Most donations include toys and clothes, but they tell us monetary donations are also extremely helpful. On your screen now is where you can donate. It's Flock's website, flockdaytonohio.org. You can donate monetarily right on the website or send in by mail. You can also find volunteer opportunities there as well. And again, this drive has been happening for over 3 decades, and they're going to be helping over 2,000 children. Now, if you want to find more about this, you can head to our website, Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Time to do some weather where, of course, we are talking about a cool start to your morning. Not that this is anything that is unusual for this time of year, but it really doesn't help things when it feels like it's in the low 20s. And this morning, we'll probably see some clouds. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be a thick overcast yet or if it's going to be mainly just a thin one that kind of peters out during the second half of the day. But the general theme is for us to actually see some clouds early on and then get clearing late. We're pointing out that later on today, we should be able to get into the mid-30s, so it's not going to be particularly that cold later on this morning. All right, now if you are traveling, we did have one issue over by Carillon Road area, I-75 south, that is between the Dryden Road and Carillon area. That now looks like it is cleaned up and traffic returned to normal. Of course, if you are traveling in that area, there still may be a little bit of residual delay, or perhaps maybe they have moved it off to the shoulders. So give yourself some extra time. But right for now, things seem to be back towards normal.
We now know the name of the man killed in a shooting last week in Dayton. The Montgomery County coroner identified 35-year-old Dominique Battle. Last Wednesday, police found Battle and a woman shot on Brooklyn Avenue. Medics took that woman to the hospital for her injuries. Police believe 48-year-old Sean Jackson shot Battle. He faces multiple counts of murder, felonious assault, and having weapons under disability. He's currently in the Montgomery County Jail. The Gaza region is in shambles from the Israel-Gaza war. Medical authorities say the region is full of diseases including chickenpox and meningitis.
Although there is a push to stop the fighting, U.S. officials fear tensions might escalate even more during the holiday season. John Lawrence reports.
The United Nations General Assembly overwhelmingly voted in favor of demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza.
Draft Resolution A/ES10/L27 has been adopted.
In addition to the call to end the war between Israel and Hamas, the UN also wants all hostages to be released.
Families are praying for the return of innocent loved ones, including several Americans.
While the UN vote has a political significance, it's non-binding and really doesn't carry any legal weight, unlike the Security Council ceasefire resolution, which the U.S. vetoed Friday. And it comes as the FBI and DHS issued a joint statement saying the ongoing war in Gaza could inspire lone actor violence on U.S. soil during the holiday season.
We are one big family, and the ripple effect of what's happening in Israel right now is affecting us here in the United States.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will be in Israel this week for key meetings. And the Biden White House is warning Israel that its campaign against Hamas is losing international support.
We have made it clear to the Israelis, and they're aware, that the safety of innocent Palestinians is still of great concern.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is now back in Europe. He posted this video on X showing him landing in Oslo. This comes after he spent yesterday in Washington, D.C., pushing for more aid to Ukraine. Zelensky met with congressional leaders and President Biden. The president says he wants Congress to pass a bill giving Ukraine billions of dollars worth of more aid. Republicans say any additional aid may have to be tied to border funding. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance says the U.S. should push for peace.
To stop the killing, because I think our moral leadership matters here, and we don't want civilians and other innocent people to die needlessly.
Senator Vance went on to say an indefinite war in Ukraine is a bad deal for the U.S.
Wright State University breaking records. Thousands of local students went out yesterday to support the women's basketball game for Education Day. More than 75,000 people turned out, shattering the previous record. Despite the Raiders' loss to Bowling Green, the event was still a big hit.
Even Santa has delivery deadlines. To make sure any gift you're mailing make it under the tree in time for Christmas, be mindful of a few important dates. USPS recommends sending holiday mail by December 16th. That's this Saturday. If you're doing priority mail, you should send it by the 20th. Meanwhile, FedEx recommends a shipping date no later than December 15th, and UPS recommends shipping out packages no later than December 19th if you're using 3-day select.
Miamisburg Parks and Recreation Services taking to Facebook to share this map. It's the Star City Season of Lights Tour. The interactive map can be used to guide people through the best holiday lights in the city of Miamisburg. They can even have some stretching to Centerville and Carlisle. Addresses are added daily.
Our time right now is 6:41. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A wispy cold weather pink palette, cotton candy hued clouds were caught forming streaks south of Syracuse, New York. Meanwhile, in North Carolina, it appears this recent mix of frosty trees, fog, clouds, and sun form a natural portrait, a silver and gold dawn. Also near Asheville, this bare neighbor takes a stroll on a recent frosty morning.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Perhaps maybe we are thinking about a stroll outside like our bear friend there, or perhaps maybe we're just going to stay inside. I don't blame you. Either way, you know, it is pretty chilly outside. One thing that is different than yesterday, we don't have a lot of wind. I'm looking at the trees and I'm not seeing any type of movement. Yesterday, it was the winds that were causing the wind chill. This morning, it's the actual air temperature. It is quite cool outside, but I think based on the winds right now, we're just not seeing that big shift or the big change from the temperature to the wind chill itself. The wind chill factor is a little bit more negligible. Point of it is, it's still pretty chilly outside, let's be honest. It's in the 20s. So if you're heading outside, you want to make sure you're bundled up, and also make sure the kids are bundled up, especially if they're heading to school. Once we get into the second half of the day, it should be okay. Sunshine returns, and I do think it'll get in the 40s. Tomorrow will be upper 40s.
Our time right now is 6:46. You're watching Your Day.
Good morning. Here's a view right now over Beaver Creek, where, of course, we're kicking off your morning. And just for the guys in the back, it does look like our cameras have just come back online. So I'm not sure if we could get those up for traffic, but I just happened to notice that they have come back. All right, back to weather, shall we? It is a quiet morning quiet morning thus far in terms of weather. We do have clouds moving back in. Whoa, clouds. I think the only thing they have done has boosted temperatures a few degrees. It has really not changed anything in regards to the forecast or to our thinking for today. The clouds will give way to some sunshine second half of the day, maybe more towards the afternoon. One thing this model has tried to do is get us up to 44. I have 43. It's been bouncing between 44 and 43, but some of us will be cooler, especially in more rural areas. Tonight, 24 degrees as we do become clear and quite cold. I think that this could be the coldest morning in terms of pure temperature, maybe even some of us making a run into the low teens. That's if we do see winds diminish. Don't think that we're going to see a lot of upper teens, but you know, it's in a realm of possibilities. In this time of year, it is just going to be one of those that, all right, we have a couple cold mornings, but we also have some milder daytime highs as highs actually get back into the 50s for the weekend. Showers are possible on Sunday, whether that's Sunday morning or Sunday night. Still working the finer details. All right, let's do this thing. Finally, our cameras are back up, but 3rd Street looking okay. 70 and 75 looking good. Main Street, all right. And of course, we did have that crash over by Dryden. That has since been cleaned up.
Our time right now is 6:52. You're watching Your Day.
Today, one local organization will be spreading Christmas cheer to children in need.
It's been happening for 3 decades now, and each year they're able to help a little bit more. Melina Brown joins us live this morning in Dayton with more. Melina.
Every year, Flock, also known as For the Love of Children, delivers Christmas gifts to nearly 1,000 children who work with Montgomery County Children's Services, but it doesn't stop there. This year, they expect to help more than 2,400 children, which includes donations to low-income schools, local churches, and registered families in the Dayton area. The donations range from toys to clothing items like coats and other necessities this time of year. Montgomery County Children's Services say they start preparing with Flock in September to make sure everything is ready to go so children and families are taken care of.
It means the world because there's basically, a lot of kids that are going to go, without, just throughout the entire year, but also definitely around the time of Christmas.
Asana Taylor with Montgomery County Children's Services says even for the caseworkers and other employees, it's the most wonderful time of the year being able to see the families they cover have gifts for Christmas. And there is still time to donate, so stay tuned. Coming up, we're going to share how.
Governor Mike DeWine calls for changes to the state's marijuana laws are on pause. The House won't be able to vote on it before members leave for the holidays. House members ask for patience so they can handle the bill thoroughly. Now here's a breakdown of that bill. The bill would cap THC amounts at 90% for extracts and 35% for the plant. It would also impose a 10% sales tax on all marijuana sales. The bill would also set up a separate process to allow those with previous marijuana possession convictions to have that criminal record expunged.
Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus back to normal operations after a lockdown yesterday. Our sister station in the state's capital says police responded to 2 calls about a suspicious man on the property. The hospital sent out a code silver alert to employees warning about a 65-year-old man carrying a rifle. The building locked down for about 40 minutes. Columbus police did not find a suspect. The department is investigating.
A new Sheetz is making its way into Beaver Creek after City Council approved rezoning.
Jenny Borg shares where it's going.
This would be the second Sheetz location in Beaver Creek. Right now, a wooded area stands there, and it would be near the intersection of Eastside Drive and Colonel Glenn Highway.
Plans are moving forward for a second Sheetz location in Beaver Creek. One is already being built on Fairfield Road, not far from Dayton Xenia Road. I spoke to Beaver Creek Mayor Bob Stone, who thinks it will be a good addition, especially for one group of people.
So it benefits, in my opinion, it benefits Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And whatever benefits Wright-Patterson Air Force Base typically benefits Beaver Creek and the surrounding communities.
Stone says this Sheetz location will be convenient for people who work on the base to quickly grab something on breaks. It's already been decided an additional traffic light will be needed after the city looked at the traffic study Sheetz did. So an increase in traffic is expected. Lights are only installed when the traffic volume warrants it.
Stone says the next step in the plan would be Sheetz needs to go back to the Planning Commission with a site plan that'll detail more of the construction, and there will be a public hearing when it's time for that part to be presented. Back to you.
Kettering City school leaders voting to approve the suspension of teacher Matthew Kohler. Kohler faces